overall, Tabitha.
Yeah, the most diverse team in the ACC, 6 different countries. We have Pendande and Ruiz speaking Spanish to each other earlier in warm-ups, but such a diverse team, and Katie Meyer's done such an excellent job with them.
And they've been strong defensively. Miami's won 8 of the last 10 as well, on top of their recent dominance. And the opening tip controlled by the visitors from Clemson, South Carolina in the purple. Miami is in the home orange.
A lot of orange out here today. I'm so happy Clemson wore their purple uniforms.
3-point attempt from Hank. Not a strength for the Tigers overall, just 28% as a team from beyond the arc. Miami 9-8 in conference play, coming off the loss Thursday at Virginia Tech in Blacksburg, 70-63. They shot 41% as a team as they take that shot clock down to 10.
That was a really physical game, too, against a ranked Virginia Tech opponent. Miami played them very well. It was a 7-point game by the end of it, but a lot of fouls in both directions.
Anna Hank just picked up the first foul of our game. Bruce Morris, Rod Creech, Erica Harriman, the officials in charge of the activity this Sunday afternoon in Watsco Center. Area vets, Harden with the tip. Maddie Ott came away with it for the Tigers, and here comes Bradford. She sent us to overtime at Georgia Tech with a driving layup. Robinson to turn around.
And look for Robinson to do that all game, to step out. Pendande's size definitely affects in the middle.
Williams fires that pass inside. Miami's on the board thanks to Pendande.
Whether it's a make or a miss, Miami's grabbing that ball out of the rim, and they are off to the races. They love transition defense.
Bradford, couple of behind-the-back dribbles. What a move. She sequenced a few moves to get to the rim and tie us early.
Amanda Butler proud of Nunu Bradford and how she's just dialed in. She's focused lately, and she's offered Clemson that third scoring option that they've needed.
Pendande turns and scores in the paint.
It's too easy. Clemson's got to do their job early and not allow Pendande to get any kind of positioning.
The junior from Spain, Pendande, into double digits in that loss at Virginia Tech with 10 points and 5 of 7 shooting. Now trying to defend Robinson. On the block, the double team. Couldn't get around it. Williams collapsed down defensively. And we're going to stay at this end of the floor, and the Tigers keep it.
Robinson's hurt Miami before on the inside, but here goes Nunu Bradford with the moves. She goes behind the back and splits 2 defenders for Miami. They just can't handle it. They need to close the trap if they're going to double her.
Bradford, the junior college transfer. She was an All-American at that level from Mobile, Alabama. Area vets brings it up. Williams, a little show and go. Working the perimeter, and it's Marshall.
It's all about the ball movement, Tom. That was 3 different passes. They broke down the defense, and they moved it from one side to the other, leaving Kelsey Marshall wide open beyond the arc.
Maddie Ott looking for the 3-pointer response. Long rebound, and the Canes want to run. Kelsey Marshall with that 3-pointer, her 311th career 3 as Washington has the steal. Those 3s from Marshall equal a school record with 311 made 3s.
Daisha Washington read that perfectly and got in front on top of the offensive player, which is what they were working on in shoot-around today.
Washington's been working on that 3-point shot as well. Coming alive late in the season from long distance. That one from Bradford rattles off. Marshall. Those seniors expending a lot of emotion prior to the start of this game. Always a bit of an X factor to see how they'll respond, especially early on. Katie Meyer also getting emotional.
I've never seen
understandably so.
I've never seen Katie shed a tear. As Kelsey Marshall knocks down that 3 that looks at the ref and says, hey, she hit me in the stomach.
Contact or not, second 3 of the game for Kelsey Marshall from Miami on target.
The senior Kelsey Marshall is about to do everything for this squad. Has started hot from beyond the arc, and she's the main reason why Miami's got a 10-2 lead. Stick with us, 6:33 left in the first.
IHOP's ultimate breakfast tastes like. With eggs, hash browns, and IHOP's signature bacon that smells like. Ultimate breakfasts. They're like breakfasts with a little more IHOP. We could all use a pan.
Here in Miami. And that leads us right to Watsco Center and the emotion of Senior Day for these Miami Hurricanes.
A lot of tears earlier today. I love watching these. Are beautiful. I've never seen Katie Meyer cry. She's so tough. I love her toughness. And Bandu really got emotional out there. Micaiah Gray, another senior, averaging double figures over her career, has done a lot of things. And Kelsey Marshall, all smiles. She's off to a good start here. 6 points so far. Katie Meyer again crying. You know what, Tom? It's also emotional because this Miami squad has 4 birthdays. And the month of February, Kelsey Marshall's birthday was yesterday.
That's right.
She's 23 years old, so a lot of emotion for her and off to a great start for the Hurricanes.
Knocking down a couple of three-pointers. 7th in the conference in three-point percentage, 35%. She's up to 71 made to lead the team this season. And she has attempted an even 200 for Katie Meyer in her 17th season. Amazing. 319 wins, most in school history, and she's closing in on 400 career victories, 395 in total for Katie Meyer.
Tells you she's doing something right and has 4 assistants, including Octavia Blue from Kennesaw State, who coached me at Georgia Tech, who are head coaches of programs right now.
Octavia Blue's number hangs in the rafters here at Watsco Center as Robinson able to regather on the offensive glass. Halfway down and out.
Hannah Hank having to slide over to the 5 position today, so having to adjust just a little bit.
Pass was deflected by Bradford. She's got Washington and Ott. Now Hank also joins the fray. They'll set it up. Washington out of that corner. What a pass to Bradford, who knocks down the 3.
It was beautiful. It was right on target with our eye line and our eyesight, and we saw it. She went right under that basket and delivered it perfectly to Nunu Bradford.
Marshall. Bit of an early game heat check there from Kelsey Marshall. That'll be Tiger basketball.
And right here, Daisha Washington just takes it. Ball rotation is excellent. Breaks down the defense. Nunu Bradford's wide open beyond the arc.
A long-distance dedication from Bradford, who's now made 32 threes on the season, and she leads the team in that category.
Amanda Butler's so impressed with Bradford's focus as of late. She's another player who's had to get adjusted to a new position in her point guard duties. And in the month of February has excelled for this team, offering them that 3rd double-digit scoring option that they were looking for earlier on in the season.
Gaines pass intercepted. Marshall. Got it to Williams with mid-range. And it came back to Pendande.
Went right through Kiana Gaines' hands. Might need to settle in just a little bit after that turnover that led to the offensive bucket at the other end for Miami.
So Pendande is now 3 for 3 from the floor and 6 points. She and Marshall have all of the points so far for Miami. Try to work it inside to Robinson. Around Pendande. Skillful move.
Pendande's got to do her work earlier than that. She allowed the post to go ahead and set up deep in the paint. And when Amari Robinson's get 2 feet in the paint, she is dangerous. She's mobile.
Team high 18 points for Robinson on the road Thursday at number 14 Notre Dame. Gray misses on the 3 attempt and Robinson grabs it. Struggles came from 3-point distance for the Tigers against the Irish, just 5 of 20. Gray, a little dribbling clinic. And Bandu.
Nice little 17-footer right there, and Bandu shaking some off her hand. Might have gotten hit right there, but good sign for her hitting her first shot of this one.
Naomi Bandu, the senior from France. One of those 4 seniors honored.
I didn't know if she was laughing or crying. I think she did a bit
She
of
made
both.
the shot, so. Eva Jaldi Tabdi, the other senior honored prior to the game. The shot by Hank ends up hitting the baseline and Robinson unable to save it. All right, so with Miami up by 7 late in this first quarter, it's time for the Ford Keys to the game with Tabitha Turner-Wilkins.
Tabitha's Keys coming up. For Clemson, take care of the ball. This Miami team's going to throw a lot of different defenses at you. They like to speed you up and do some uncharacteristic things, so you got to take care of the ball. And for Miami, it's composure. When Clemson gets up, will Miami have that veteran leadership to stay calm throughout all this and run their sets?
They pass it inside and get it easy, too.
And that's that cut that Clemson was trying to prepare for earlier today and shoot around, not allowing that high post catch, because when you do, Miami's dangerous in picking apart your defense.
Jaldi Tabdi is a solid scorer for the Canes, 6.7 points per game. She missed all 7 of her shot attempts, though, in that game at Virginia Tech. That's a driving Washington. It's an offensive foul. Jaldi Tabdi with the position.
Excellent, excellent offensive or defensive tenacity. After scoring on the other end, she got 2 points. And right here, Jaldi Tabdi just posts right there. Excellent play by Miami. Worked perfectly. She set the screen and then turned around, and she's the one open, doing good things at both ends of the court for the Hurricanes. And now she comes up. Or excuse me, I thought she almost got a steal. I got excited right there.
This is Gray on the drive. Wow, how did she squeeze that one up on the rim? Fight in the backcourt. And they're going to call a foul against Miami on that one. Williams picked up the foul.
And right here, Micaiah Gray has been a player who's been up and down for Miami, but goes right at the chest of Elmore. Beats her with that first step and leans in. Does an excellent job of staying square to the basket and absorbing contact.
And all 4 of the Miami seniors have gotten into the box score. Jaldi Tabdi and Gray and Marshall, Bandu.
Everyone's focused right now for Miami, and that was the key in their shoot-around. Get focused, high energy.
And guess who hasn't scored yet for the Tigers? Washington. Bradford looking for another 3-ball, and it's right on line.
Washington at least has a couple assists because she's got Nunu Bradford. Both of those nice passes that led to 3-point shots. You don't need to score when you're assisting your team and getting steals, and Washington is off to the races against the freshman and misses that one right at the rim.
Miami sends it right back down the court. Contact on the drive, and there'll be free throws coming up, and Bandu took it strong to the rim.
Madiat has the right idea trying to take the charge, but has to keep your body still. But on the other end, Daisha Washington attacks that first step, goes in, draws 2 defenders, which leaves Nunu open. And then she's active hands right here, steps in, gets in front of the freshman, but misses it point blank at the rim. And that's not something you see from Daisha Washington too often.
So with the free throw miss, Washington is now 0 for 2 from the floor. And Bandu at the free throw line, 68% of the season.
What I love about what I'm seeing from Daisha Washington, she didn't play well last game either, but she does so many other things well. And if you're not scoring, you got to get it back defensively. You got to find your open teammates, and she's done that so far in this first quarter.
Now, she did get the double digits in scoring in that most recent loss at Notre Dame for Clemson, but she had 13 points on 5 of 16 shooting. Mid-range. Washington. Oh, it must be nice to have Washington on your side.
That's it. She can create her own shot. I mean, right there, she had the nice fake that got the defender in the air and just took that big first step, that quick first step that we mentioned in the open.
Oh, threading, passing inside. It spins off. Second effort, Jaldi Tabdi staying with it.
Quite a few layups missed right at the rim for both teams. Jaldi Tabdi sticking with that one, though.
Jaldi Tabdi is the transfer from Syracuse, where she played 3 years in that program.
Another orange team. So tired of the color orange.
We'll see some orange when we get to Greensboro next week. We'll get you cranked up on Wednesday on your regional sports network. 3 games on the first day and then 4 each on Thursday and Friday. Speaking of the tournament, the outcome of this game for these teams, Miami with a win could be the 7th seed. A loss might drop them to the 9th seed, and Clemson can get to the 11th seed with a victory, or 13th potentially with a loss. Either way, the Tigers are going to have to play on that first day. The bottom 6 teams in the standings have to play on the opening day of the tournament as we get back to Greensboro.
That matters because of legs. You know, if you're playing every single day, by the time you make it, if you make it to Friday, as Washington misses the long-range shot, when you make it to Friday, if you played every single day, you're tired.
It's a long road.
It's a long road, and who knows, you know, if there's any injuries that have happened in that time, if you lost anybody. Those are all factors, so you want to get as many byes as possible.
And we'll break that down further as we get into this game in the second quarter. Closing seconds of our first quarter. Miami up 21-12. Canes shooting 56% as a team. The Tigers just 28%. Inside pass, Mbandu. Fight on the offensive glass. Shaldi Tabdi right at the horn. And that will end the quarter.
Miami doing a good job getting some inside shots, and that's why their percentage is so high from the field.
Bradford had 8 points, the rest of the team with 4 for the Tigers. And Miami has the 21-12 lead in South Florida. That won and lost, and we're still trying to figure out all of the seeds. The only thing that was determined before today was number 1 and 2 with NC State and Louisville. That was the championship matchup a season ago, won by NC State. But here's the rest of the breakdown.
Look at number 4. Our producer Joe calls it the muddle in the middle.
Yeah.
Notre Dame, Virginia Tech, and UNC. Georgia Tech just declined the past few weeks, had that number 4 spot and has dropped down to number 6, but quite a few teams right on their tail.
That is Marshall with the move. And again, the top 4 teams get the double bye into Friday's action. And if you're in that middle 5, you get a single bye, which that would include Miami. Again, they could be as good as 7 or drop down to 9 as Doc fires away. And then the bottom 6 teams have to play on the first day of our ACC tournament. We're going back to Greensboro. And a 3-pointer for the game.
Nice looking shot by Ariavets. Kelsey Marshall identified that she was wide open. And even though Ariavets is an assister, she can also hit that 3.
The senior from Croatia. 39% from beyond the arc. Second year in the Miami program after transferring from Wyoming. Bradford. Hank, weak side. Robinson preserving the possession.
Robinson doing so many good things when they played Notre Dame. She just went right at Maya Dodson. Maya Dodson and that athletic build.
Coach Butler in her 4th season. Coach of the Year in 2019. And in 2019, they made it to the quarters of the ACC tournament. First 20-win season since 2001. Dwyer on target.
I mean, the 3-point shooting is looking really nice for Miami right now. That one barely touched the net. But Kelsey Marshall did an excellent job of getting the defense in the air, which created it open.
So the Canes now 4 of 9 from 3-point distance, Tabitha.
Starting off with Kelsey Marshall, who's getting assists all over the place. Ariavets knocks that one down. Marshall delivers it to Dwyer. Barely touches the net. Miami's got that 21-12 lead. Stick with us.
Hey, Cover Girls. It's time for a fresh start with new Clean Fresh Skincare Weightless Water Cream. Supercharged with True Clean Cactus.
ACC Women's Basketball is brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Visit your local Toyota dealers today. By Coyote Tractor, we dig dirt. And by C-Max Micro Lubricant. Extend engine life, increase fuel mileage. Available at Advance Auto Parts. I can't believe the cruise ship left without me, Tabitha, going through government cut.
They left without me, too. I wish we could have broadcast from there.
Hey, this is just as good. Maybe it's headed right to Greensboro in the ACC tournament next week. 29-12. That's the lead for the Canes. They're on a 10-0 run against the Tigers, and the defensive struggles have been the issue this season for Clemson and Amanda Butler.
Yeah, and you can see right there the opponent 3-point field goal percentage, 34.4%, almost last, next to last in the ACC, as well as opponent field goal percentage. And right now, Miami is shooting 44% from the 3. So Clemson yet again struggling in that category during this one.
The Tigers do have one of the more explosive players in all of the league right now on the handle, Washington. So they can always make a quick comeback. Robinson muscles her way inside. Hank trying to keep it alive. She wins the fight for the board. It goes out of bounds and remains Tiger basketball.
Jaldi Tabdi's defense and her size has really been affecting Amari Robinson on the inside. She's missed a couple of layups right at the rim, and that's uncharacteristic of her.
So Harden returns for Miami along with her teammate Pendande. Jaldi Tabdi goes to the bench along with Mbandu. Veronica Hip into the game, number 4, finds Robinson. Quick passing, it's Bradford.
Good ball movement there to get Bradford open, just couldn't knock that one down.
Elena Johnson-Sidi Baba is into the game right now, number 1 for Miami. She's got the ball. Inside of 8 minutes to go in our second quarter. Marshall tries a little closer to the rim. There was some contact. A couple of shots coming up from Marshall. Second foul on Hank. What a career it has been for Kelsey Marshall, all-time leader in three-pointers made, 10th in scoring overall. Started the afternoon with 1,508 points. Leading scorer on the team. And overall this season, 9th in the ACC in scoring for Kelsey Marshall, 70% from the line.
She's one of 11, and you saw on the graphic, one of 11 NCAA players to break that 300 made three-point shots. But one of 2 active in the ACC, joining Aisha Shepard to break that 300 three-made field goal mark.
So Marshall comes out, and Shepard has set the ACC all-time made three-pointers record. As Virginia Tech will be playing a little bit later on today, hosting NC State, the battle of ranked teams. NC State number 3 in the nation, Virginia Tech number 23, 2 of 6 teams in the ACC in the top 25.
That was really good vision there by Amari Robinson. She noticed the double team was coming, and if you're being doubled, somebody's open. Elmore does a good job of slipping to the basket and was wide open and got the foul.
Pendande picked up the foul for Miami. Michaela Elmore, the freshman. Prior to that, she had attempted 1 free throw this season for Elmore.
Well, Elmore is in a position now where she's got to step up and play more minutes because Ino Enyang got a concussion in their last game and is out in this one. And Enyang's been doing some really good things for Clemson, especially on defensive end. Held Virginia Tech's Elizabeth Kitley just 2 points on the interior.
So Elmore, first 2 free throws of the season. Johnson-Sidi Baba in front of the Clemson bench. Harden couldn't get the shot away, and now Williams. Over 2 defenders, it's Williams along the baseline.
Katie Meyer brags on how smart Jalea Williams is, and that was a smart play. She didn't take a bad shot, got the defender up in the air as the shot clock was winding down, and just put that one up.
Freshman from Pompano Beach, Florida, number 12 in orange for the Canes. Hip trying to save it off of Harden. Williams right down the middle. Little hesitation, knocked away by Bradford to stop the momentum of the play. Wide open underneath. Sidi Baba fouled her teammate inside, Pendande.
No purple jerseys underneath the basket. And Miami comes up with another steal. The freshman Dwyer gets the and one. And she is 3rd amongst freshmen in the ACC in steals per game, and you just saw it on display.
So chance at the old school three-point play for Lashae Dwyer.
And Jalea Williams almost loses that one. But Miami's passing excellent right there. Clemson just gets a little bit out of whack defensively and leaves the basket wide open.
So Dwyer at the free throw line, the freshman from Toronto, Ontario, Canada. She and her teammates, Tabitha, on an 18-2 run over the last 4 minutes and 42 seconds.
I mean, Miami is just, they caught fire right at the right time. Destiny Harden, who was hurt earlier in the season, didn't have her the first 10 games. She's gotten reacclimated with her squad, and she's been the X factor, really, for this Miami squad.
She missed the first 11 games of the season with a lower body injury.
Thank you. Excuse me, I said 10.
Either way, she missed a significant amount. And it's hard to get in the flow of things when you can't begin that season with your teammates and get into the rhythm.
And also, you might be in your head, too, mentally when you come back from an injury. So you might not play as hard or might not trust your body. That takes time as well.
Miami has not missed a field goal attempt in the second quarter. They're 6 of 6. Other side of the ledger, the Tigers are 0 for 5 from the floor. CD Baba the miss. Robinson the rebound. First miss of the quarter for Miami. They're still shooting 63%. This is Bradford weaving her way. Didn't get the soft bounce. A couple of players diving for the loose ball, and it's Miami basketball as Bradford went to the court along with Johnson CD Baba.
And Bradford's the one who put the shot up on the opposite end of the court and almost got her own rebound, was the first one to dive on the floor. Those are hustle points.
That 18-2 run has Miami out in front 37-14 with 5:47 to go in the second quarter. So glad that you're with us as Micaiah Gray joins the lineup. Tom Wormy along with the former Georgia Tech standout Tabitha Turner Wilkins.
TW and TW.
Along with our outstanding ACC women's basketball production crew, with you from Miami and Coral Gables. Watsco center. Gray, pass in tight quarters, off the backboard and in Ruiz.
Ruiz, the Spanish player, puts it up, and Micaiah Gray comes up with a steal, and Clemson has to call a timeout.
Storm warning inside Watsco center. 41-14. Just over 5 minutes to go in the second quarter. Amanda Butler wants a timeout with the Canes in front.
At Audible, you'll always find just the right thing. That's because Audible is for everyone.
Is that throw?
Imported from Portugal. Got it at Marshall's for a total steal. Thanks.
Over the last minute and 49 seconds, and they had a steal on the inbounds just a moment ago as well. Applying the pressure. Washington just 2 points so far for the Tigers, their leading scorer.
She doesn't have to do much because her teammates are hitting shots, especially Nunu Bradford has 2 assists in this game, but a lot of the things they do right is because of Daisha Washington and her hustle and her vocal leadership for the Tigers. I mean, she was in shoot-around earlier, leading the stretches, telling everybody where to go.
The 19.4 points per game. But only 2 so far.
And that's a player that can get going at will when she wants to. Right now, she's figuring this game out for herself and still leading her team, finding them in the open spots. But better believe that Daisha Washington to get going at any time.
Struggles for the Tigers from three-point distance, just 2 of 11. Miami is 4 of 9 from 3. Gaines on the run. Washington on the flank. I mean, there's no doubt about it that Washington is on the top of the scouting chart, so she's going to get challenged defensively each and every night, especially if they watch the tape of that Georgia Tech game. As Elmore's shot goes up over top of the backboard.
Absolutely, and I don't think that Miami, even though Daisha only has 2 points in this game, Katie Myers telling her squad, hey, you got to stick on her hard because she's a player that gets hot at any moment. And can do a bit of everything, might I add. And her three-point shot has been electric as of late, especially the month of February.
63% shooting from the Canes in the first half. Shot clock down to 5. Dwyer.
I mean, that is a smart move, especially by a freshman. She just did the nice little jump hop through 2 defenders and knocked down the shot.
Gains over 2 defenders at the other end. A little too strong. Gray across the U logo into the paint. She's able to create some contact.
And Miami's just being aggressive right now, and that's why the game is going in their favor. Right here, Dwyer, look at her. She's going to split 2 defenders. Clemson's got to close that if you're going to double team and trap. You've got to close that distance so that Dwyer can't do that little jump stop through there.
7 points for Dwyer. Marshall going to the Miami bench. Double digits for Marshall in the first half. Gray at the free throw line, 77% on the season. Washington had it for a second. She and her teammate Hannah Hank both fell out of bounds.
Well, that was an excellent rebound, just unfortunate. Washington kind of landed off balance and had nowhere to throw it.
You saw Dwyer on the bench there. Dwyer in the game so far, 3 of 3 from the floor and 7 points. Jaldi Tabdi's back in, and Bandu. Ruiz comes out. She scored in the game. Eryevets trying to help out her teammate. Almost thrown away, and Gray has the save. Plenty of time on the shot clock. Jasmine Roberts is in there for Miami as well. Number 4, and Robinson has the steal.
Got to fake a pass to make a fast pass right there in Bandu. Telegraphs. And Robinson does a good job of picking it apart.
Washington for Clemson just 1 for 4 from the floor. They try the entry to Robinson, poked away in Bandu, but she'll pick up the foul. First one in Bandu.
You know, even though Robinson is only 1 of 6 in this game with 2 points, she's got 4 rebounds. And from the look on her face, you can't tell that she's only got 2 points in this one. She has been battling down low.
The look on Washington's face might be a little bit of frustration here in the first half. And she's been held to 2 points as the 3rd leading scorer in the ACC. Robinson along the baseline. Jaldi Tabdi held her ground. Gray. Mbandu trying to fill the lane, and her momentum took her away from the rim. Couldn't finish it off.
Yeah, that's hard to do when you're running in that direction and the ball almost goes out of bounds. Micaiah Gray looks up the court, and Mbandu's just too deep underneath the rim. Just an unfortunate spot where she caught the ball, but Miami did a good job of pushing the ball in transition, which is the style of basketball they like to play.
It's like a foul in the backcourt as Bradford took a tumble. Gray was the closest player for Miami. Clemson has not made a field goal in the quarter. 0 for 10. They've missed their last 12 shots overall.
I mean, this team is still trying to find chemistry. You know, we mentioned it earlier. They were hit hardest, in my opinion, by the COVID bug. And Amanda Butler's not going to make any excuses for her squad. They're going to battle day in and day out. But Maddie Ott wasn't able to practice on Friday. Was dealing with a death in the family. And Enyang is out with that concussion. So you've got quite a few players playing different positions.
Ott with the kick to Bradford. Roberts came away with it. Now Eryevets. Canes want 3, don't get it this time. Gray misfires, ball goes out of bounds and stays with Miami. Tigers trying to snap a 3-game losing streak. They lost at Notre Dame, home against Duke, and then that game on the road at Georgia Tech when they got it to OT, but lost 92-84. That player right there had 40 points, the most of any player in an ACC game this season.
Almost at 42, but they had given Newton Bradford.
You're right. There was a late scoring correction. We thought she had 42, which would have exceeded Jewel Spears' 40 that she had earlier in the season against East Tennessee State. Jaldi Tabdi had it knocked away, and Bandu tries to follow up. She got it back. Passed up on the shot. Minute and a half to go in the second quarter. Shot clock to 5 for Gray. Double crossover.
Highlight
spins
factory.
It in.
Highlight factory, Tom. I mean, that's the Micaiah Gray that we're used to seeing. She does a little crossover, creates some separation. Wasn't nothing but net, but it went in.
After missing all of last season with a knee injury, the senior from Upper Marlboro, Maryland. National Christian Academy in Maryland. Robinson, Elmore. Wow.
That
Big
was a nasty
collapse.
block. Yeah, that was a nasty block by Mbondu.
Robinson deflected it to Washington. She has Elmore. Second follow attempt and a miss as Ott was there as well.
I mean, my goodness, just nothing dropping at the rim for Clemson. Just missing point-blank layups. They might have dragged over some of that full moon from Notre Dame against Louisville earlier because, my goodness.
0 for 14 from the floor in the quarter for the Tigers, and they've had some good opportunities, including that last sequence. That was knocked away from Jaldi Tabdi, who hit the deck. Foul called against the Tigers.
And Micaiah Gray's a player who's been up and down for Miami all season, but right here looked like the Micaiah Gray of old. Gets that one a toilet bowl down, and look at the crossover, the moves, the handles. Missed all of last season, like you mentioned, Tom, with that ACL injury, and has just been kind of in her mental thoughts this season. Kind of struggled a little bit, but is doing a lot better as of late.
Turnover, Bradford by the defender, and Mbondu got back. Affected the second opportunity. That was Bradford kind of grimacing as she goes to the floor. Foul called.
Mbondu is just all over the place in this game, and it's exciting to watch. Bradford takes it to the rim, and Mbondu comes from behind and just swats that one. Gets back inbounds and comes right back at her and affects the shot, and she has been a defensive prowess for the Hurricanes today, not allowing anything in the paint.
Mbondu, one of those seniors expending a lot of emotion in the ceremony prior to the game. Bradford at the free throw line. Coming up at halftime, we'll look at a busy and important day in the ACC. Check out the scoreboard. Information about this year's ACC Women's Tournament in Greensboro, North Carolina. We start on Wednesday and we'll break down the first half. Between Clemson and Miami, Canes won the first meeting between the teams in mid-January by 9 at Littlejohn Coliseum. Seconds ticking away. Williams into the paint. There Yvette's launching a three right before the horn. What a half for the Canes.
I mean, everything going right for Miami. The ball movement was excellent. Nothing but net for Yvette's. Momentum in Miami's favor. The freshman, Jalea Williams, finds her, draws the defenders, but that shot was too quick for the recovering defense of Clemson. And Yvette's just buries it.
Miami outscores Clemson 28-4 in the quarter. They've got the halftime lead from Coral Gables and Miami. Canes leading the Tigers.
I could have waited to tell my doctor my heart was racing just making spaghetti, but I didn't wait.
I could have delayed telling my doctor I was short of breath just
5 in 2006, so both these coaches love each other to death, and I asked them both what it was like playing against each other. And of course, it's all love off the court, but when you get in between these lines, it is nothing but competitiveness, blood, sweat, and tears.
Coach Meyer with the most wins in school history for Miami. Robinson is open inside, gets that one up and in, and again the pass came from Washington.
And you notice what the difference was right there with Amari, right? She did a pump fake first instead of going right up into the defender. So I bet Amanda Butler told her, listen, you've got to go up and fake, get them in the air, and you're either going to make the layup or you're going to get fouled.
Out of the corner, Marshall, three ball.
She didn't cool down at all at halftime. Came back out hot, hit the first one.
13 points for Marshall. She leads everybody in scoring. Double figures 23 times this season for Kelsey Marshall. Best on the team, and a driving move from Bradford.
Bradford didn't cool off either. She was the strong hand for Clemson in that first half, and that gives her double digits for this one.
4th game in a row that Bradford has gotten to double digits in scoring after scoring 16 on the road at Notre Dame. Backdoor play. Washington closes the door and goes back the other way. One-person fast break. Daisha Washington.
And Lola Pendande, for some reason, didn't want to contest that one. Is not in foul trouble, but kind of just let Daisha Washington get to the rim.
This is Marshall. Follow away with touch. Poise and composure from the graduate student from Davie, Florida, and Miami Country Day School. Playing in her 133rd game in a Miami uniform, the most of any player in the 50-year history of this program.
And Katie was balling when she hugged Kelsey Marshall, and they gave her award as Nunu Bradford doesn't get that one to go, but Katie Meyer just so emotional, crying over the 5th-year senior as Robinson gets another one to go underneath, and that's a good sign for Clemson.
Well, remember, the Tigers had missed 17 straight field goal attempts. They are now 4 of 5 in this quarter in the opening minutes. Area Vets was double teamed. Hannah Hank has it. 3-on-2. Robinson to the rim. Katie Meyer wants a timeout. It's a different Clemson team in the 3rd quarter.
They're a lot more aggressive, and it starts with number 5, Amari Robinson. She has been aggressive to the rim, showed a bit of handles on that last play, and she's got the Clemson Tigers back in this one. Clemson trying to work their way back in this one, led by Amari Robinson. Stay right there.
My fellow Kinder Bueno. It's crispy. It's creamy. It's not your average chocolate bar.
It's Kinder Bueno.
Smooth milk chocolate, crispy wafer, creamy hazelnut filling. It's Kinder Bueno.
Let's talk about what is professional today.
I've been a janitor, I've been a designer, I've been an executive.
Creating my own seat at the table was doing things different.
There's work, and there's what works for you.
Professional is you, professional is us.
It's ours to define.
What is this place?
Welcome to Irish Spring, friend.
Where stinkiness is.
Cast thy smell away!
Irish Spring. Smell.
4-26 lead over the Tigers. And the Clemson Tigers in this 3rd quarter trying to make a comeback against the Hurricanes, and it's been all Amari Robinson on the inside. She gets herself going right there with a little fake. Got a few shots blocked by the bigs of Miami, and right here Hannah Hank comes up with the steal, and Amari Robinson with the little handles inside takes it right at Miami's defense. And she's got the Tigers fired up.
Second leading scorer for the Tigers. Big games against Florida State and Boston College, and an all-freshman selection.
And just watching, I know they lost to Notre Dame, but just watching her go at Maya Dotson, I mean, that's a scary athlete to go against because Dotson's so athletic and so long and just agile. And Amari Robinson just went right at her. Had herself a heck of a game against Notre Dame in the loss.
18 points in that one. She had 27 at home against Florida State. This is Williams on the drive, came up short. Miami able to save it, keep it alive. Area Vets. Power dribble and hesitation. 10 on the shot clock. Katie Meyer directs some traffic from that Miami bench. 5 on the shot clock. Williams on the drive, too strong, but a foul coming up against the Tigers, and it's Washington.
And Daisha Washington had the right idea, trying to take the charge. That's her 3rd foul. It just wasn't stationary enough in that circle to get the charge.
Williams is one of 9 different players for Miami that has scored in this game. First free throw attempts for Williams. 68% of the season for the freshman.
Cody Myers says Jalea Williams is one of the smartest freshmen she's ever coached and has just adapted so well and has gotten more playing time. Doing some really good things scoring-wise and steal-wise for Miami. Third in the ACC in steals per game, first among freshmen.
That's Robinson. Misses in close. Run down by Harden.
I love how Clemson and Amari Robinson just got right back in defense. She missed after that nice move on the other end, but you couldn't tell by the look on her face that she had missed the shot. No disappointment at all.
Williams along the baseline. She stepped out under the basket. 6:14 to go in the third. Big second quarter for Miami. They scored 28 points. They held Clemson to 0 of 15 from the floor in that second quarter. Harden defending Robinson. Inside of 10 seconds on the shot clock. Entry pass from Ott was too high, but a push inside. And now a Miami foul. Williams picks up her second personal. Just inside of 6 minutes to go in our third quarter.
And I'm not sure that the Tigers recognized the mismatch that was switched on to Amari Robinson right before that foul. As Nunu Bradford gets the nice little teardrop to go over the defenders. But there's a mismatch where Jalea Williams, who fouled Amari Robinson, was on her. And I guess that's all she could have done was foul her because that was a mismatch down low in the post.
Canes have won 5 of the last 6 in the series, and the entry pass to a cutting Harden. She was fouled on the way up, and she is going to the free throw line.
And that's something that the Tigers worked on in their shoot-around, not allowing Destiny Harden to just cut freely to the middle. And right there, Amari Robinson is overplaying Harden, and Harden does a good job of just spinning around and sealing the defense.
Bradford picked up the foul for Clemson. Graduate student from Chicago, Illinois, transfer from West Virginia, is at the free throw line. Destiny Harden averages 7.5 points per game, 13 points in the loss at Virginia Tech. Also led the team with 5 rebounds.
In my opinion, she's been Miami's X factor and why they've been so successful in the month of February.
She has a couple of double-doubles this season as well. They haven't necessarily needed her in this game. Pass deflected by Marshall. 15 points for Marshall. She leads all scorers in the game. Trying to add to that total with a difficult angle. It's an easy rebound for Hannah Hank.
Yeah, Miami didn't have the numbers in that one. Clemson had recovered. Felt like Kelsey Marshall should have pulled that one out.
Bradford. Last win for the Tigers in the series actually came in the 2020 ACC tournament. The first round win, 71-56 for Clemson. Shot clock at 4. Robinson around the defender, everything but the finish. Play continues on the offensive rebound. Washington, just nowhere to go for Washington.
Miami's defense has been swarming right now. They've been all over the place in their man.
Hank had to shoot it into the shot clock. Now a third opportunity on this trip.
They just got to hit shots. They're getting open looks right at the rim. They're getting open looks from the three-point line. They've got to knock them down. As Kelsey Marshall intercepts that one and gets the nice little breakaway steal, adding 2 more to Miami's total.
Now her total is up to 17. And 6 of 8 shooting from Marshall. Includes a couple of threes. Robinson had it knocked away. She is down behind the play. Still way behind the play, and the officials are going to stop the action just to check on Robinson.
And I think that Miami might have gotten away with a foul on that one. Robinson gets positioning, and yeah, I agree. I think that's a lot of body contact.
Mendande was the defender. 3:42 to go in the third. Robinson to the Clemson bench. The Canes out in front.
At Yingling, we've been brewing. The magic is calling you to a celebration 50 years in the making.
In Miami. We're just down the road in Coral Gables on the Miami campus. On our producer Joe Vencius's 50-foot yacht. Cruising on the waterways. Oh, there's his house in the background too. Must be nice. Tabitha, here's what we know currently as far as the seedings are concerned. NC State and Louisville, those were the only seeds we knew as the day started with 7 games on the schedule.
I mean, everything is still unfolding with each game that happens, but that muddle in the middle, look at number 4, Notre Dame, Virginia Tech, or UNC, all trying to make that move at that number 4 spot and get the double bye. The top 8 get a single bye. But my goodness, that Notre Dame loss that happened earlier is really gonna haunt them.
Yeah, North Carolina beat Duke today. So now the last piece of that little puzzle at number 4 will be Virginia Tech against NC State. And that's coming up in about 20 minutes or so, final game of the day. So here's our tournament schedule. That's Wednesday. We've got the 3 games for you. The bottom 6 teams. You want to check your local listings for the gaming time in your area. But please join us, 1 Eastern. An amazing cast, an amazing crew. We'll be with you on Wednesday from Greensboro, North Carolina. Tournament Town. Named that for a reason. We're going back for the 45th ACC Women's Tournament. NC State is the 2-time defending champs. Clemson Tigers lost in the quarterfinals against Georgia Tech at the tournament last year. They had a first-round win against Notre Dame, 68-63.
And you can see Clemson and Daisha Washington looking a little bit more aggressive, driving to the rim. And that's another toilet bowl shot for Michaela Elmore. It's the second one she shot today that's been in and out of the basket.
Williams. Lashae Dwyer fell down in the paint. Tangled up with Elmore and Bandu cruising through the paint as well.
Look at Miami's offense, constant motion. Everybody's moving. There's nobody standing still.
Gray tried to bounce it to Lashae Dwyer. They could not collaborate. Out of bounds and back to the Tigers.
Had the right idea, just a bad pass there by Micaiah Gray, who's been up and down this season. But I'm loving the movement I'm seeing from Miami. Nobody stood still, and they had a constant little carousel of motion around that free throw line to the top of the circle.
Miami exited the tournament last year with a second-round loss to Virginia Tech, 72-64. Tigers 2-4 in their last 6 games, so if the score holds, and it appears it will, as Washington goes for some style points. Right at the end of the shot clock for Ott, had to graze the rim. Here's Gaines.
Clemson, a good job of getting the offensive rebound, but they've got to rotate that ball out of it. Miami's defense is swarming right now and not allowing Clemson to get anything.
Washington ran into a double-team roadblock.
And all Miami's doing is crowding the paint.
Just got it away, and they're going to take a look at it just to make sure that she got that one off in time. The official gesturing over towards the scorer's table to review the tape late in the third quarter.
I mean, it's come down to Daisha Washington having to go one-on-one and create some offense for Clemson. Amari Robinson's not in the game right now, and she was the only other factor in Nunu Bradford that put up some points for the Tigers.
It was Bandu on the three-point attempt. She's only made 3 all season. There's Robinson. Remember, she was shaken up under the basket a couple of minutes ago. So hopefully she's well enough to re-enter the game for the Tigers.
Speaking of Nunu Bradford, she's back in this one too. Amanda Butler realizing that her team needed to get some more offense and Daisha Washington needed some more help at the ball handling duties.
stepping back. Poked around. Canes 3-on-2. Dwyer.
Bradford got a piece of that ball, but the upper body strength of Dwyer was strong enough to still get that one to go in. Another smart freshman for Miami. They have got a bright spot between Williams and Dwyer for the future.
Hey, Dwyer's up to 9 points in the game. Washington tried to run her, ran into Jaldi Tabdi. And Bandu, past two defenders, and Bandu lays it in.
I think she wanted to try to dunk that one time. At halftime during the break, she grabbed the rim, and I could hear it. I think she might try to throw one down on somebody.
What a finish for Miami. Although the team's tied at 14 in the quarter, Miami maintains their robust lead in this one, Tabitha.
And it's all about the aggressor. Even the freshman is getting into it. Gets that one to go right at the chest of Nunu Bradford. And then right here, Jaldi Tabdi comes up with the block and the steal, and Mbandu looking like she wanted to try to dunk on somebody. Miami's got that 33-point lead. Coming up next.
Ready?
Ready.
Visiting Tigers. Again, Miami won in mid-January. That game was a lot closer at Little John Coliseum. A 9-point game.
I'm happy you brought that up because I wanted to say one thing that I just thought of. So last night I was working out in the hotel and I'm in shape. And I was just like, why am I so tired? And then I realized as I'm looking at Clemson and all their shots, remember in the first half, they missed a lot of layups right at the rim. And even Amari Robinson, I told you that was a little bit uncharacteristic. I didn't know what I was really seeing. But then I remember when I used to play at Georgia Tech, his Jaldi Tabdi gets the N1. We used to come down here 2 to 3 days early to get used to the climate because you're under sea level. And I get that's not a luxury that we have in the COVID days now, but we legit would have to come down here and get our conditioning up to be able to play on this floor because it's under sea level. It is harder to breathe in the city of Miami if you're working out. That's a fact.
I totally get that. And for Miami, they had some travel issues as well, trying to get out of Blacksburg on their most recent game on Thursday, a loss at Virginia Tech by 7. And Coach Meyer told us they could have easily forced overtime, just couldn't get it done down the stretch. They dominated the paint against Virginia Tech, 30-20.
Yeah, I was there for that game. They looked very impressive against a ranked Virginia Tech squad, but that was a physical game. I mean, both teams just going at each other.
What a catch by Jaldi Tabdi. Trying to set up Mbandu. It's a 3 ball.
Mbandu said, it's senior night. I'm about to show out. My family's here. I guess all that emotional crying in the beginning kind of fueled her offense and her defense in this one.
Just their 4th made 3 of the season for the senior from France.
I mean, Amari Robinson had to work so hard for that one. Miami got a piece of it, almost got the steal. But Robinson was able to have enough strength to get that one to go.
Good to see her back into the ball game. Double digits now in 10 points for Amari Robinson. Scrap for the loose ball. Elmore hit the court. Miami ended up with it with Gray. Ends up getting it back with plenty of time to operate. Bradford went for the poke away and contact made, foul on Bradford.
And I think Bradford is arguing to the ref. She said, really, man? And that's her 3rd. And I think what she's saying is if you're going to call it on this end, call it on the other end, too.
So a couple of substitutions. Elmore's out. Gaines is out for Amanda Butler's team. 2019 ACC Coach of the Year. And that was the return to the NCAA tournament in 2019 for the first time since 2002 for the Clemson program. Coach Butler in her 4th season. We'll get into all that tournament history coming up next week in Greensboro, North Carolina. 22nd time We go to the Greensboro Coliseum for the ACC Women's Tournament. What a wonderful home it is as we celebrate ACC basketball all next week. Please join us for the excitement of the ACC Women's Tournament. We'll have those first 3 days for you on your regional sports network starting 1 Eastern on Wednesday. The best part is you're going to get to see Tabitha Turner-Wilkins in action as our roving reporter.
And I think Tom told me the other day he knows how to tap dance.
Wait a minute now. Hold on.
For the halftime show.
You mean verbally tap dance or literally tap dance? We can attempt both, and we will. So we'll have a lot of fun with our broadcast colleagues who will join us in Greensboro and our outstanding technical crew. You won't believe the amount of time that goes into that tournament to make everything happen and bring you the excitement from Greensboro as Washington drives to the rim for Clemson.
Whip trying to create. Amanda Butler's work in progress.
Wait a minute, this is her 6th year. Still work in progress?
She's going to be a work in progress for the rest of her life. We all are. You got to never stop learning.
We're all day to day. Steal by Washington.
It's Whip. You can hear Amanda Butler shouting out, "Whip, Whip." She calls her by that. I don't even know if she calls her Daisha. Saves that one for the Tigers.
A lot of nicknames on this Clemson team. Nunu, Whip, Maddie. The list goes on. Shot clock to 6 for Bradford. So if you're the Tigers, unfortunately, you go to the tournament 2-5 in your last 7 games. And obviously a struggle today, but you start that tournament next week. You'll have to play on Wednesday for Coach Butler's team. But the journey of 1,000 miles starts with that single step.
That's it, and you got to look at it as a new season because technically that's what it is. Yes, you're kind of starting out where you have to play more games than, some of the other opponents if you're out of the top 8 or out of the top 4. But that doesn't matter. It's all mental. Your body's been trained for this, and you got to bring the heat.
So the Tigers are looking at that 13-12 game to start the day. Their opponent's going to be Syracuse. So that would be our 1 p.m. game. Again, we'll solidify all this definitely by tonight. We're telling you what we know so far. Numbers 1 and 2 seeds are NC State and Louisville. That was determined before today's action.
And the way the ACC is set up, Tom, anything can happen. I mean, this is one of the best leagues, if not the best league in women's basketball for college right now. And I'm not just saying that because I played in this league. It's just always been a fast-paced league. And when you've got 6 teams that are in the top 25, that's the most out of any conference in NCAA women's basketball right now. And the ACC has just always been a tough, blue-collar place to play. These athletes are quick, they're agile, they bring it. Post players shoot threes and stretch the floor.
So with the performance today for Miami as Elmore joins the lineup for the Tigers, they're going to win 5 of their last 6 games. That is the definition of momentum headed to Greensboro. There's a lot of teams that fall into that category in the ACC. NC State, which will play tonight at Virginia Tech, they won 15 of 16. Louisville's won 11 of 12. Notre Dame's won 9 of 12. Virginia Tech's won 7 of 9, and again, they have to host NC State tonight. We were at Senior Day last Sunday for the Wolfpack, and that was an emotional day and a big win against Syracuse, which will be the opponent first round for Clemson.
Man, too many emotional days at these games. I think I had a few breast cancer awareness games and played for K. I cried on the mic.
I don't blame you.
Evan made me cry even more in that one. And then we got senior night.
Washington. Not that time for Washington. We're closing in on the 5-minute threshold in our final quarter as we count down the clock on the last day of the regular season for ACC women's basketball. Season 21-22.
Clemson trying to offer some late pressure here.
Harden, short. saved by the Tigers. This will be a day that the Miami seniors and their teammates will remember for a long time, and Katie Meyer and her coaching staff as well. Bradford got fouled. Marshall was defended. So Coach Meyer and the Canes on their way to their 17th win of the season and 10th in conference play.
When you carry out Domino's 3-top,
The magic is calling you to a celebration. Unbelievable sights. Share the light all around you and see the world you love.
Whatever we want to be. Black and samurai and superhero. Black and rad and fearless. And vegan, baby. We are black and...
That's what they're playing for next week in Greensboro, North Carolina. Perez in the tournament final. The difference. And a 2-point win for NC State against Louisville, the top seed. NC State, the number 2 seed. Celebration on 58-56. They had wins against Georgia Tech and Virginia Tech prior to that title game, and cutting down the nets. What a moment that must be, and they've done it 2 years in a row, because remember, we did have the ACC Women's Tournament in 2020, even though the NCAA tournament was canceled, and they defeated Florida State in that title game.
And the ACC tournament had just completed right before.
Exactly.
All the games were shut down from COVID, but Louisville, the last 2 seasons, had that #1 spot, had won the regular season, and NC State came back-to-back years and won the tournament and took that title and threw a wrench in Louisville's plans.
So the 8 teams currently projected would equal the number from last season. Kelsey Marshall on the bench right now with her 19 points, and that leads all scorers in our game. In fact, Marshall, the scoring is so distributed evenly for Miami that Marshall's the only player in double digits, and 10 players have scored in the game for the Canes.
I was just looking at that. Jasmine Roberts and City Baba are the only 2 with no points in this one, and the birthday girl, birthday was yesterday, her 23rd, is all smiles. She's got 19 points tonight. Started off hitting her first 3 shots. Is 3 of 5 from beyond the arc. Perfect from free throws and 3 assists to go along with a nice little spread distribution in the stat line for Kelsey Marshall today.
Our Hardys start a watch. Double figures for the 23rd time this season. Best on the roster for Katie Meyer and the Miami Hurricanes. Taken away by Hank. Just over 4 minutes to go in our 4th quarter. Gaines unable to stay in bounds on the pass.
And Gaines ran the floor and asked for that one. Just a little overthrown by Nunu Bradford. But those are things that you want to continue to work on. Keep your head up. Work on your style of play for the Tigers. This one's a little bit out of their reach now to come back, but you still got to get better. And like we mentioned before, Tom, Wednesday starts a brand new season, and that's the way Clemson has to look at it. Matter of fact, that's the way every team needs to look at it, because if you go in that ACC tournament, you underestimate anybody, you can get beat on any given day.
Bondu looking for another 3. Knocked around into the corner. And Roberts was trying to chase it down for Miami. Ott was there as well, and she's going to pick up the personal foul.
I'd like to see Jasmine Roberts and City Baba get on the scoreboard. I mean, I'm not a person to sit here and say, hey, go get your score, go get your score, go get your points. But it would be nice to show a distribution of every player contributing in the point total for the Hurricanes today on their senior night in the last regular season home game on their home floor. It would just kind of seal the win.
We told you that the Tigers' first-round opponent is going to be Syracuse, and Clemson lost on the road at Syracuse. But that game was so long ago, December 11th, and they lost 86-46. Tigers are going to finish the season 9-20 and 3-15 in ACC play. For Miami, we told you, coming on strong late in the season as Amanda Butler's team will regroup, head to Greensboro. See what kind of damage they can do there. Miami's going to finish the season 17-11, 10-8 in conference play, and win 5 of their last 6 games. And those 5 wins all against ACC opponents.
And there was a point where they were 4 of 8. We'll have 4 games in 8 days, should I say. And it was just a tough schedule, and they had won all 4. It included 2 season sweeps of Georgia Tech and Florida State as Hannah Hank gets the nice one to go, absorbs the contact underneath. But again, Tom, I mentioned it earlier, I think Destiny Harden is the biggest X factor for this Miami team. We know Kelsey Marshall leads the team in scoring and does a bit of everything. But ever since Destiny Harden has come back after missing the first 11 games and has slowly gotten her production to get back up to the old Destiny Harden, this Miami team has exploded in efficiency. And as she's gotten better, so have they.
That foul go against Miami. Again, the Tigers will be part of the action on the first day of the ACC Women's Tournament in Greensboro, North Carolina. They will face the Syracuse Orange, a team that beat them earlier this year. Duke and Pitt will be at 3:30 Eastern. And then Wake Forest and Virginia to close out the first day. Virginia with a nice win down the stretch against Duke. In fact, they've won 2 of their last 3 because they also beat Pitt. And Virginia did not play today. So those are the matchups we'll have for you on day 1 of the ACC Women's Tournament. Miami will be part of the action on day 2. And again, we're still trying to determine all 4 of the top seeds that get the double bye and don't have to play in Greensboro until Friday. We've got that last game of the night, Virginia Tech and NC State, and that one is very early. Virginia Tech needs that victory to try to solidify one of the top 4 spots. Notre Dame's going to be 3 or 4, so we know that NC State, Louisville, seeds 1 and 2, will be joined by Notre Dame. We just don't know who that 4th team would be, and Notre Dame could slide to the number 4 slot. North Carolina could be part of that top 4 because they won today against Duke, and they also have a win against Louisville. That's part of the tie-breaking process, not to get too complex and deep on that, but the 3rd tiebreaker after head-to-head is how you do against the top teams in the ACC as far as the standings are concerned.
We've got a few.
11 Canes have scored in this game, and here are the seeds that we know, Tabitha, led by number 1 NC State.
We're still waiting on Notre Dame or Virginia Tech. We know the result of Notre Dame's game today, but Virginia Tech, like you mentioned, playing NC State today. And that muddle in the middle, UNC or Notre Dame or Virginia Tech or UNC, still a lot to be decided.
I know one thing. We're going to be there. We're going to bring you 3 games on Wednesday. And then 4 each day on Thursday and Friday. Wall-to-wall basketball in Greensboro, North Carolina.
City Baba. City Baba. We're all pointing at City Baba right now.
Is she the last one?
She's the last one. Roberts came in and hit a 3.
Okay.
City Baba's the last one. Is that okay for me to root for a player's score? Not trying to take sides
sure.
here.
Final 44 seconds and a steal. Williams gliding to the rim. Or Dwyer, rather. Excuse me, Dwyer.
One of their 2 explosive freshmen.
Yes. What a day for Marshall. 19 points, 7 of 10 from the floor. She made 3 3-pointers. Was the all-time leader in made threes and games played. What a career at Miami for Marshall. Shed a couple of tears early and then went to work. She really set the tone with those first couple 3-pointers that she knocked down for Miami.
I mean, her and Bandu both were all tears earlier and came out and just balled out in this game. I mean, I might have to take a page out of their book, go in the corner, shed a few tears, and then come out and be a boss.
Standifer is at the free throw line for Clemson. Freshman from Argyle, Texas, a couple of free throws.
You know, I asked Kelsey Marshall how long she's been growing her hair. She said 12 years. Sorry, that's a side note, but I love her hair. 12 years.
My goodness.
It's almost like down to, it's past the hip area for sure.
She came to play today on Senior Day, 19 points. She's one of 2 Canes to get to double digits. Dwyer was the other one. Bradford and Robinson, double-figure scorers, and Washington was held to 9 points, and that'll do it. 76-40 is the final count, and Miami honors its seniors with a victory on their home court to close out the regular season.
It was an emotional day for the seniors, an emotional day for Katie Meyer. But my goodness, defensively, they made a statement in this one. Going into the ACC tournament, a lot of teams are going to be scared to play Miami just because of their defense. In the last game on their home floor of the regular season, they definitely